Hello again, vinyl community. It's Matt here. Just doing a little bit of spin cleaning. You can see right here, got that going on the floor. And I thought I would just show you guys the records that I'm cleaning. So most of these were from that UK eBay seller, Kerry Carter, 1976, who I've probably given a lot of business to by mentioning him like a dozen times over the last year or so in my videos. But you know, I was just doing the spin cleaning and I thought, what the heck, right? Might as well. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, which probably isn't too many people, but there is a seller in the UK, and I'm just filling up the cleaning solution here, who his records used to be a lot cheaper, and unfortunately they did go up in price somewhat, but you know, if you get them without too many other people bidding on them, it's still a decent deal. And first record, which I'll show you in just a second. Actually, I'll show it to you now. Deep Heat 3, the third burn. I really like the Deep Heat series. I have several of them. And I saw that this came up on Kerry Carter's listings, and you know, just had to buy it, just had to pick it up. What do we have on here? Now, the Deep Heat series, these are all from the late 80s and early 90s. It's all like house music, for the most part, club music from back in the day. So you've got like Capella on here, Double Trouble in the Rebel MC, Cold Cut featuring Lisa Stansfield, Donna Allen, Inner City, De La Soul, a guy called Gerald. I thought it was a guy named Gerald. Maybe not. A guy called Gerald. Sweet Tea. Who else do I recognize on here? Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Kelly Charles is on here. Well, there you go. Didn't know she was still pumping out the hits back then. But yeah, I'm very pleased to get this. It's a gatefold double album right there. But yeah, so Kerry Carter, I'm just cleaning right here as we're going. Kerry Carter, 1976. He or she, I think it's a he, lists all of these auctions. It's usually thousands of listings at one time, and yeah, I like to put in some bids, quite a lot of bids. But what I like about it is the fact that it's all UK stuff, right? So they're records that I would have a hard time finding in the US, or probably impossible to find in the US for most of them. And they're usually a good price. They start off at like £2, no, £2.49. So I don't know, what's that in dollars? It's close to $4, but yeah, it used to be better. It used to start off at like 99p, I think, so like $1.50. But yeah, I guess word got around. I might have been responsible for part of that. I don't know. Yeah, word got around, so now the prices went up. I'll show you what else I got here. Now this is an upgrade copy right here. This is the Christians. Self-titled. I could have sworn this had a name. Maybe it does. I thought it was called Forgotten Town. Well, there's a track on here called Forgotten Town. I don't remember. Anyway, I do already have this, but the sleeve that I have is pretty beat up. Coincidentally, I think that also came from Kerry Carter, and I thought I'd take a chance, and there's nobody else bid on it, and this is in much better condition. I'm not sure if the record's in better condition, so it may be that I just switch out the old record with the new sleeve, but the Christians, it actually has nothing to do with religion. As I remember, I think two of the band members are named Christian, or the last name is Christian, or something like that, I forget. But yeah, this has Ideal World on it, which is a really nice song, but the whole album's really terrific. Very surprising. When I knew the song Ideal World, I didn't know the rest of the songs on here the first time I got this, like a year ago, whatever. And yeah, when I gave it a listen, I was actually very impressed. Really, really excellent. Now, really pleased to pick these up. These are some albums from the 60s. The Best of Hermans Hermits. Well, this probably is from the 60s. Even the compilation, I think, is from like 68, maybe, by the looks of it. But yeah, I do already have a Best of Hermans Hermits, but I've never been crazy about the condition of it, and I thought this would be an upgrade. It's a different compilation to the one I have, but the one I have is a US compilation, which is missing several of the big UK hits, and this is a UK compilation. So I'm into something good, which is on the US one as well, but it also has A Must to Avoid and No Milk Today. I think both of those are missing from the US one. Um, there's a kind of Hush is on here as well. I have a feeling that might be missing from the US one too. So very pleased to pick that up. Uh, I think this is an 80s repress, and I say that possibly 70s, and I say that based on the label, the Columbia label right there, which I'm pretty sure first started in the 70s. But no doubt somebody can correct me on that. Nice original inner sleeve as well, with the various EMI albums on here that were available at the time, including Pink Floyd. That's cool. Huh. Saucer Full of Secrets is on there. I also picked up The Best of Del Shannon. Now, the big song, of course, was Runaway. Everybody knows that, but he had quite a few hits in the UK, several other top 10 hits. Hats Off to Larry, Little Town Flirt, which I think was like a #2 hit. What else is on here? Hey Little Girl as well. That was a pretty big hit of his. So, yeah, let's see what label. This is on the Contour label. I wasn't familiar with this, I don't think. Maybe other people will be. It didn't look familiar to me. This compilation is from 1966. So, this I assumed was a repress, but it may not be. I assumed that just purely based on the condition, but it may not be a repress. Next up, I got The Best of the Seekers. It's a little cheesy, but I like the fact that it's got the old W.H. Smith price sticker on here with an 80p price. Even back then, that probably wasn't too expensive. But yeah, W.H. Smith was, it still is, I think they're still around, a chain. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. I guess they were sort of a news agent, so like they would sell newspapers, magazines, that type of thing. But they used to sell, or maybe they still sell music, I don't know, but they sold records back in the day. They used to sell like video games at one time, I remember as well, and like candy, I think like stationery as well, pens and paper and whatnot. I assume they still sell a lot of that stuff, but this is also on that same EMI Columbia label right there. This compilation is from, trying to see, 68, I think. The most recent copyrighted song in here is from 68, so it's probably close to when this compilation came out. But when I was a kid, my parents had the 45 of Morningtown Ride, which is the lead track on side 2 on here. And I used to love it. I mean, I've listened to it again since. Funnily enough, I listened to it on the car on the way home. And that may have been the first time in 30 years that I'd heard that song. And I still remembered some of the words. I found myself singing along to it. But yeah, I used to like it. And there's several other big hits on here. I'll Never Find Another You was a big hit. A World of Our Own, The Carnival Is Over, Morningtown Ride, which I mentioned. Georgie Girl, it's a great track. I always loved that. Always reminds me of, this is going to sound really weird, I know. The song Georgie Girl reminds me of something from like a nuclear holocaust that, if anyone's ever played the video game Fallout 3, at the start of it, the ink spots are playing. I don't want to set the world on fire. And for some reason, I can just imagine Georgie Girl echoing out of an old abandoned radio. Like, I don't know. I'm weird. What can I say? What else do we have here? Okay, this is, most of these are 12-inch singles. Deuce, Call It Love. This is a double 12-inch single set, 2 records in it. I have the 45 of this, a picture disc actually. And I was kind of curious to get the 12-inch single, and nobody else bid on it, so I got it. E17, Around the World. E17 were big in the 90s. They were a British boy band, and they were sort of rivals to like Take That and Boyzone to a certain extent, but E17 were edgier. Their songs were more controversial, a lot of very, let's say, sexually suggestive lyrics in some of their songs. Not this one, but one song in particular called Deep is pretty suggestive. But yeah, it's a 12-inch single of Around the World. This was, I think, a #2 hit in, I want to say 95, was it? 94 is the copyright on here. And I also picked up one other E17. This is a double 12-inch single, Let It Rain. It's a pop song. I always liked it. They had an album called Steam, which I'd like to get. It's really expensive on vinyl, though. I do have it on CD, but yeah. Next up, M People, Search for the Hero, backed with Padlock, although Padlock seems to be like the lead track on here. It's really weird. Search for the Hero / Padlock, yet there are 4 Padlock mixes. And I mean, I'm assuming Padlock's a different song. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what this is trying to tell me. And then Search for the Hero gets 1 track. I don't know. Maybe I'll play it and they're all mixes of Search for the Hero. I don't know. We'll find out. Next up, Kim Sims, Take My Advice. Funnily enough, I actually had a very, very brief Facebook interaction with Kim Sims because she knows Billy Craone, who some of you may know, and I occasionally comment on some of Billy's posts, and she had commented back one time in reply. But yeah, she had a couple of hits. This one and Too Blind to See It. Too Blind to See It was a pretty big hit in the UK, 92. It was a top 10, I think. And let's see. Okay, Billy Ray Martin, Your Loving Arms. Big top 10 hit in the UK in 95. It's a pop / dance track. It was included on a lot of dance compilations. I think it leans a little bit more towards pop, but it's a good track. And then the last 12-inch single is the Out Here Brothers, Boom Boom Boom. I have the 12-inch single of Don't Stop already, and this was a follow-up hit, Boom Boom Boom, which I think was also a #1. Pretty sure it was. And this was also in 95, I think. Yeah, so yeah, they sort of faded away a bit out. They had a couple of other more minor hits in the UK, but the first 2 singles were the big ones. And then I have a few 7-inch singles hit too. The one that came today is this one, which is Van McCoy and The Hustle. And this is also from Kerry Carter 1976 on eBay. I used to have the album that this was on, but it didn't survive my vinyl purge last November. So anyway, glad to pick up the 45 still. Now for an absolute classic, The Tornadoes and Telstar. I find it helps if you know the B-side sometimes to 45s, because again, this was an eBay auction from the same guy, except it was listed as Jungle Fever by the Tornadoes, which I realized was the B-side to Telstar, which is the song I really wanted. Big hit in the UK. Almost certain it was a #1. It's like 1960, I think. 62. Oh, a little bit more recent than I realized. Yeah, and it's all instrumental. Very similar to like the Shadows things that they were putting out back then. Now, these next 2 actually were not from Kerry Carter 1976. This was from a different eBay seller. The Foundations, Baby Now That I Found You, and Build Me Up Buttercup. I would have rather had the UK versions of these, but they were a little bit pricey, and a seller was selling both of these in the same auction for pretty cheap, so glad to get those. And back to the Kerry Carter auction items. Chorus by Erasure, classic. Dina Carroll, Don't Be a Stranger. Yeah, why not? Nobody else bid on it. And then finally, Forever Autumn by well, it's Justin Hayward, but Jeff Wayne's War of the Wilds, from the musical, classic. I used to have this a while back, but it was it didn't play very well, so I ended up, I don't know, I donated it or traded it in or something. So finally picked up another copy of this. This one isn't great either, but it's better than the one that I had before. So yeah, it's fine. I do have the full soundtrack as well, but the 45, the single version, is a little bit different. It doesn't have all of the voiceovers and things. So that's it. That's it, guys. Yeah. Thank you as always for watching. What can I say? If I want to give a shout out to his name's Will, and his channel is Looks Like Fidel. He's just put up 2 videos so far. The reviews of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which I watched both and I commented on both, and really enjoyed his take and his viewpoint in his reviews. So yeah, go check out his channel. He only, I think I was his like 11th subscriber just today. So yeah, please go and check out his channel, especially if you like the Beatles and if you're into Sergeant Pepper. And I'm gonna be interested to see what else he'll be reviewing. So thank you guys as always for watching. If you like to comment, please do go ahead. Always appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, see you soon. Bye bye.